So in this video I'm going to show you how to use a text editor to perform building tasks using MUSHclient. I primarily use this for descriptions, but it's also useful for offline building if you're not connected and you want to do some writing. You can do it in a text file and then input it later. So the first step is to make a line of characters that is 80 characters wide or long. That's the standard width of a MUSHclient or a Telnet client, and I like to keep my descriptions that width, even though for rooms it doesn't matter because they're formatted automatically. Other things like mob descriptions and objects and extras and help files are not automatically formatted. So I like to set my screen up this way. I just resize the window until this no longer wraps. And then I know that if my line wraps, then I need to put a carriage return there to start a new line. And then I just delete those characters because I don't want them to end up in my room description. So I'm going to grab the dynamic room template to give myself a nice starting point. I've got all the tags formatted. I'm going to go ahead and fill in this description, and then I'll come back and show you how to input the file. So I will see you in a few minutes. Okay, so now I have written a short room description here, and the next step is to save this file. Now if I don't save the file before I go to MUSHclient and start the input command, then I'm going to get halfway through the process and the file is going to be locked and I won't be able to save it, and it's a pain. So make sure you save your file and then go to Input, Send File, and select your file. Now I use a file with a .mush extension because .mush and .mud files are visible or filtered by default by this dialog. So you can give it any name you want. You can see all files, you can select anything. But it's just easier if you use this extension because then it's right there. So we'll click Open. And this is where the real magic is. So this first field is a list of commands you want sent before it processes the file. So I want to clear the old room description. So I'm going to send this command, which deletes all the lines in the room description, 1 through 111, which I know there's not that many. There's only one. And then this field sends a command at the beginning of every line that's in the text file. So you'll notice that there aren't any commands in this text file. It's purely the description. So I need the rdesk command and then a space. This command, the contents of this field get prepended to every line in the file, exactly as they're shown. So if you don't include a space, then it's going to be, like this, and you'll get an error. So you need that space, and that has to be in this field. Also, lines that have blank spaces at the beginning, you'll lose these blank spaces. So my trick to keeping them is to put an @biggie at the beginning, or right before, at the beginning of every line. And this is a color code for strong emphasis, which I don't use anywhere because I don't think it's very readable. So I use it here, and then this field are commands that are executed after the file is completed. Like this one, these commands are sent once. So I'm going to do a replace and replace the @biggie with nothing, so it'll remove it. So that's it. I don't leave all these other options at their defaults and click OK. And we have our new description in the RDesk field, exactly as it was in our file. And if we look, we will see the description the way a player would see it, just like magic. You could also use an input file that has the commands in the file, which is really useful for extra descriptions. So say you want to add the same extras for a whole bunch of rooms. Well, it's a hassle to write all those up separately, but you could enter them in a text file with all the commands that you need, because there's several different commands required, and create all of those descriptions by sending that file without any options, or without any commands in these fields. So you just leave all that blank and just click OK. And then it'll send the file exactly as it appears. So 2 different ways you can do this. I think it's a really powerful way to work, and it allows you to use a nice text editor that has whatever features you're used to. I'm using Notepad++. I'm used to it, so there are other text editors out there with different features. So I hope that's helpful, and let me know if you have any questions. Thanks for watching.